Good evening from my star in the galaxy. Good afternoon from Kristen's star in her galaxy, which will talk to myself. Um, my name is Dr. Tovah Goldfine. This is TMS Roundtable. Let me just bring that up. This is TMS Roundtable Recovery. And we've been streaming live. I think this is like 301 show. You might be the 300th show. I tend to forget the numbers 'cause it's not about the numbers, but I tend to forget. We've been streaming live since COVID. It's been quite a ride, quite a Ferris wheel. And every week I get to meet amazing people like you and get to rub shoulders with like beautiful people like you, inside on the out. And our job together, without even batting an eyelash, is to inspire and educate and motivate and let people know that not only are they the doctor, but they're the placebo, they're the medicine, and they're the problem and the solution. And we'll talk about that. So, Kristen, now I'm going to put up your name, Kristen Honus. I reached out to you. My mother had multiple sclerosis, and that's another podcast. But I reached out to you because you had an autoimmune page called Autoimmune Naturally, correct?
Transforming Autoimmune Naturally.
Autoimmune Naturally. And I'm very keen to that. And I reached out to you, and some people are like, go away, don't tell us anything. And I'm like, no, this is education. This is godly. This is spiritual. Don't send me away. And you were like, hi, what do you want to talk about? And we started talking, and then we had a Zoom, and I met you, and I heard your outstanding story, and I said, this is for my community. This is for the world. This is for anybody with autoimmune symptoms or multiple sclerosis. And this is for the healing because it is possible and probable. So I'm just going to quiet down. I'm going to practice my listening skills. I'm going to ask you to talk details. We want the details about what happened, what the heck happened, and tell us how you healed and how you found the mind body and why you picked this nutritional detox and how it worked so brilliantly for you. And here you are. So, shalom. Hello.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tovah, for having me on here. This is an absolute honor. And so I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 11 years ago, and it attacked my optic nerve. So I had optic neuritis in my right eye, and it was very painful. Any movement of the eye, you don't even know how many times you move the eye until it's excruciatingly painful to move the eye. Luckily, I worked for an eye doctor at that time, and so he did extensive testing and immediately knew what it was linked to. He didn't tell me right away because he wasn't the diagnostic doctor to tell me that, but he immediately sent me to an optic, a neuro-ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist, yes.
Yes. So she did extensive testing, MRI, and that came back, and it was confirmed to be multiple sclerosis. And so lots of pain in that eye. I lost vision. I lost color vision. It was really wonky for about 9 months. The pain subsided in about a couple of weeks, and I did not do any medication. They immediately wanted to do steroids and naturally things to bring down the inflammation. I understand that, but I was terrified for one, and I
Oh,
just
wait, so
wanted to.
I want to stop there. I just want listeners to know, because I'm curious. So you get this diagnosis and you're like, okay, I can fight this, or I'm so frightened, I'm so scared, or I'm so angry. Like, can you share what was going on when
Yeah,
you set with that diagnosis?
I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. I was bawling, and the doctor was telling me that if I didn't get on medication, that I would be in a wheelchair in 5 years. And I mean, it was huge. Here I am. I'm very active. I'm a former figure skater. I backpack. I hike. I do a lot of activity. I'm a yoga instructor now, And at the time, being very active, backpacking, I just, yeah, like my future was just what's going to happen? What is my future? It's absolutely terrifying. Um, I did not, I was raised, I don't know. I just was kind of against medication. I just wanted to know, okay, so here's what it is. Here's what was going through my head was, what is the root cause? What is the root? There
Right.
has to be a root cause, and I'm going to get to it, you know? So I'm not going to I don't want to mask it with medication, or I just didn't, that just wasn't my route. And I'm really thankful that I didn't take that route. I wanted to get to the root cause of it. And there wasn't 11 years ago, it I mean, the medical community had enough to say about it, but there wasn't enough holistic healing, natural healing. There wasn't a lot of it. I did find an MD, um, the Dr. Wall's protocol. I kind of went to that first. And I'm very lucky that I found that because she was an MD that cured her MS. And she did the medical route, she did the medication. She was still in a wheelchair, no better, not making any progress. She got herself off the medication, went really deep into like mitochondrial health and cellular health. And that's when I first like really was like, oh, okay, I have to get into the my cells, and what is the root cause of this? And so I just was on a journey for many years, digging. In between the diagnosis and 6 months, so I had an MRI 6 months apart, and the second MRI was drastically different because in that time I went completely clean eating, as clean as I could. I did do paleo. I was eating meat and I was eating vegetables and fruits and just no processed foods, no sugars, no dairy, and juicing every day. Just doing the best I could with what I knew, which was a good bit. I did know how to be healthy. I knew how to eat, which is why this diagnosis was really shocking because I thought I was a really healthy and strong and an athlete, and it really shook me. So, again, just getting to the cause of it. What is the root cause? And it took quite a long time to really get there. And I'm still learning. But so I did clean eating, juicing every day, made a huge difference. Huge. It really helped a lot. The optic neuritis lasted about 9 months. So my vision was really wonky for about 9 months in my right eye. And it came back after 9 months. And over the course, it's hard to eat clean all the time. It's hard to do the right thing all the time. Meal prepping, working full time and having to meal prep, and, just with our lives, right? They're chaotic and busy. And so that was really a challenge. Um, I did the best I could. But over time, I started eating, kind of back to the way I used to, more sugar, um, more processed foods, more alcohol, more caffeine, just things I knew were very inflammatory. I knew that. I knew like to stay away from inflammatory foods. So fast forward to 2021, and a lot had happened that year. Um, for everyone, that was a really tough time for everybody. And I had had a miscarriage also that year. Um, and just I was just not feeling well. I just felt like I needed a detox. I felt like my pain in my legs was getting so bad. My um like just neurological pain was getting really bad, and I was getting really scared. After a day of work, I couldn't stand in the kitchen anymore. I had to drag a chair into the kitchen. And the first time I did that, I sat down and cried because here I am dragging a chair into the kitchen because I can't cook or do the dishes because my legs are about to just crumble beneath me. I was losing muscle mass, and the pain was it was just so bad. So I was really scared, and just trying to do my best. I thought I was eating healthy. I was into like healthy fats and really taking tons of supplements, taking all the supplements I could think of to counteract everything, and it was probably working pretty well, but I was still going downhill. So 2021, at the end of that year, I found a detox protocol that changed everything. And it came down to parasite cleansing. I learned about parasite cleansing and I learned about keeping the body at a certain alkalinity, the importance of an alkaline body and um, and parasite cleansing, heavy metal detoxing, getting rid of heavy metals, um, the pesticides and herbicides that are killing our gut flora. So those three things were really profound when I learned about them and when I started clearing out the toxins in my life and in my body. So in my life, I started really paying attention to my water, um, the fluoride, things like that. Just doing the best I could. Cleaners in the house, household cleaners, toxins, perfumes, fragrances, um, all of that. So, aside from everything that's in our food, all of the toxins and pesticides, also my household laundry detergents, soaps, all of that. I started really paying attention. Um, and so I started doing a parasite cleanse every 3 months and doing a heavy metal detox with food. So certain things like cilantro and wild blueberries, and there's recipes and things like that that I learned about, and so taking my nutrition to a whole different level, and it became easy also. So the protocol that I found, it's food, it's dehydrated food, and it's just powders, and it's just really easy to make up. I'm out the door. No meal prepping for the day. Very, very easy. So that was huge because I was working full time and very busy, like most of us. So,
So, at what point did the mind body, you know, psychological
mhm,
part come in? Because you just can't do it without that. I mean, you know.
absolutely. Absolutely. So that was probably a couple of years. I started meditating, which was another profound, huge moment. I actually was able to stop pain in my legs during a relapse that I had. It was 2016, and I had a relapse after skating. Actually, I had a great practice on the ice, and I pushed myself a little too hard because with MS. At that time, I don't feel this way anymore, but at that time, I really had to take activity in strides, and I couldn't get too overheated. I know this. I know people with MS can really understand what I'm talking about, like getting overheated. Um, then getting overheated, my vision would kinda get wonky and all these little things that I would have to keep in checks and balances. So, I had a great skating session and a little too hard though, and, I ended up relapsing and, couldn't even walk up the stairs for a little while. It was really bad. That was 2016. So, my father, was really into meditation, still is. He's a yogi and really taught me a lot. And I remember going into a really deep meditation and my pain completely was gone. And it lasted the rest of that day. I was pain free and I couldn't believe it. So,
What do you think was going on? What do you think was going on with that?
well, I think that's the nervous system just going haywire also. So it's a combination of being physically over exerted, my muscles, nerves just completely overexerted, and then meditation, bringing the body and the mind completely into a complete relaxation, kind of a reset, really. We can control all of that with there's so much too that's able to be controlled with our thoughts, how we feel about the situation. When I
Think
was
your medita-
diagnosed,
do you think your meditation, sorry to interrupt, do you think your meditation, like, it stopped the inflammatory process? Like, it sounded like I meditated and I felt no pain. So was the pain still there? Was the brain still like, I'm curious how you saw that, because there's science about what's happening, but here you had this
Mhm.
experience and you weren't meditating up to now. You were really heavily into nutrition. You were
Mhm.
working hard at the nutrition, but you weren't thinking about the brain.
Right. Yeah, I'd heard that could be possible, but I really didn't know for sure. I hadn't experienced it yet, and, y yeah, when I say the pain was gone, the pain was gone. I didn't feel it anymore. I was even walking with a little bit of a limp at that time. Um, 2016, I'm remembering, these things now, and yeah, I went into, like, a deep meditation for about an hour, hour and a half, and just remember almost feeling that separation. If anyone has felt in a deep meditation, that separation, almost being a little bit separated from your body, from this gross, dense body.
Yeah.
And and then when I came back, it just that inflammation was gone, that pain was gone. Um, so I would love, I know there's a lot that, the brain, the what's firing and everything is very, very powerful. And I want to make this quick note too, that when I was diagnosed with MS, yes, it was terrifying, probably the most terrifying experience possibly of my life. And I didn't take it on. I never, and at first I thought, am I being naive? Am I being like not non-accepting of this? Because probably most doctors would have said that to me, like, you need to accept this, right? You need to accept this is your diagnosis, this is your life. And I just never did. I just never did. And I think that is really powerful. And that's a fine line because you don't want to be naive about it. You want to take things seriously, obviously, but there's a point where you're going to embody it and it's going to become you, or you can choose to not embody it and you can choose for it to be like, okay, this thing, okay.
There's my
Yeah,
label, there's my health at this moment, and there's my thought about my health at this moment, and there's my reality.
exactly. Right. So much of it is here, and I don't mean to say that in a belittling way or to downplay anything at all. This is a very serious diagnosis and it should be taken very seriously. And I think that's it. I didn't embody it and I wanted to get to the root cause of it, and that was just my drive forever. So I started doing parasite cleansing, and by my third parasite cleanse, I felt a shift in my body. So the combination of the meditation, the yoga, physical asana, physical is very important. We have to stay, there's that checks and balances. You have to stay just physical enough, but you can't overdo it either. So there's this balance. Um, and learning yoga and just and really getting into my body, and even and when I felt pain, I would even just like stretch it through, and just these little physical techniques that I would do. Um, I don't know, that's a little hard to explain, but,
I think it's
um
important for the listeners to understand that you made a decision not to fear the sensation. You knew that there was a diagnosis, you knew that you were on a journey, you knew that you were doing the best you can, and you had these sensations, and that pain can mean danger, it can mean something's wrong. Now, we teach that neuroplastic pain and autoimmune symptoms, that it's not coming from danger. But here you had this neurological diagnosis, and you chose still to have a relationship with the pain, to not overdo it, like you said, to not overdo it, to understand it. But this is a key when people can stop fearing the pain and be with the pain and trust their body can he under it's a very interesting thing. And every people are this is it's such a personal thing, because obviously we can go back and look at what was your relationship with pain? How did your mother raise you? Because we all grew up with a certain relationship around pain. I always say my mother didn't have a thermometer in the house, so I wasn't like attached, but it was probably she didn't care about me. I could have gone that route. Or, I didn't make a big deal about being sick. It depends how you want to go with it. So some people are very sensitive and have a high tolerance, here you chose to feel the pain, not react. That's what I want to say. So we can have pain. It can be what it is, but we can choose to respond. And in that way, you have a certain kind of control and sense. So talk more about that with your physical body. And knowing you had this diagnosis, knowing it was this big label on your head, knowing you had plaques on your myelin sheath, on your the spinal cord. So tell us more about how you would guide somebody through that painful situation and feel safe.
Yeah, that's hard. That's a tough one. Something that I'm still trying to figure out how to articulate, but I understand it because a lot of people with MS they're also very depressed because many things, right? Many reasons, fear of the future and all sorts of things, but also the pain that I noticed that I was having. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, and I would love to know if anyone else can relate to this. But if I felt neurological pain in my legs or my arm, it was immediately, I could feel it also in my brain. And I know that sounds a little, I don't even know, it just sounds weird. But I could feel the connection. Not that my head hurt, the pain was in my arm or my leg, but it immediately sent a signal. And I immediately felt a little bit depressed, right? Because that's pain. You feel, right? And I think getting through those moments is really, really important. And those moments of dread, because when you feel that neurological pain, you just immediately feel like drained and dread. And yeah, sitting with that pain and just being with it. Um, from a yogic point of view, what I also learned in going down my yogi path and all of that is, and this helped me profoundly, was a meditation where I said to my mantra was, I am not the body, I am not even the mind. And that is a very deep, takes a while. I did that for 2 years, this mantra, and still do. But I am not the body. And just in that pain, going there and just being like, I am not this body. This body is experiencing pain. This body is experiencing discomfort, and just breathing through it. There was a lot of breathing through it. Um,
This is
and then,
powerful. This is really powerful. And this is part of this mind. I have a theme of the week, and this week's theme is about the present moment. And if anyone talks to Eckhart Tolle or listens to Eckhart Tolle, Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body.
yeah,
Purely separates. You are not your pain, and there has to be a relationship with it. And what you're saying right now on the record is this relationship with your body and understanding its energy. And this is more the quantum where we can sometimes go, and that's where you were. And anyone can do that. You don't have to be a neuroscientist. You don't have to be Eckhart Tolle. You don't have to be Kristen or Tovah. You have to be able to feel safe enough. We all have a sixth sense. It's a little bit scary to go to that sixth sense, but you went there. You went there in your meditation, and you went there in your thoughts. And this is a key. This is why people get better from everything from A to Z with, the quantum work, with Dispenza, with this. And this is where people in our communities with chronic pain and autoimmune symptoms can get better. And I've interviewed a number of people with MS, and it's just always very different than yours. Though nutrition was big, God was big in their story. A lot of people, brought God into the picture, and he's a great partner to heal with.
Yes.
So the yoga, the meditation, like, is key. And everyone had this movement program that they had to commit to, and have and meet their body.
Yeah.
So
Right.
tell us
Right.
more. You're really explaining so beautifully and so well. And
Thank
so,
you.
what about the root cause, and what about the feelings, and what about the monster under the bed?
Yeah. So the root cause is more nutritional based. Gets getting into the parasite cleansing and the detoxing that I
So
did.
is there some top, like, but this is, I guess, what I want to ask, and I'm asking you honestly. On, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But
Yeah.
the root cause, meaning what caused your body to attack itself
Hmm.
and destroy the myelin sheath? Like, what was going on in your life or a past life
Hmm.
on an emotional level that caused your body that needed to protect you with enormous inflammatory reaction?
Sure. Yeah, there has been several different types of trauma in my life from childhood to adults. And right before I was diagnosed, I had been in a bit of a traumatic relationship. There was definitely that. Um, so I think a combination for sure of trauma and nutritional deficiencies and toxins.
Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, it's like
So,
the perfect storm
yes,
of, and the
right.
body. And at some point, your body was doing amazing. I mean, yoga and figure skating and
Hmm.
all that you're doing, and you're living in the world. And then it's very
Hmm.
amazing when the body just starts to say no, no, no. And the
Right.
body
So I
starts to give,
think,
like, give a symptom, like,
yeah,
and a symptom like that. Like, it was pretty severe. Like, there was no warning before.
hmm, right. So I learned too that it's more pathogens that are attacking and neurotoxins from those pathogens that attack the neuron, the myelin sheath, as opposed to the body actually attacking itself. Um, It's cleaning out the pathogens, cleaning up the gut health, and when you clean up the gut health, sorry, I kinda jump sometimes,
No,
but
please jump.
when you clean up, the gut health, that cleans up the mental
The
clarity,
brain.
the
Yeah.
brain, because your
Yeah.
serotonin and so many, um, chemicals and, all of that is produced in the gut, so we have to clean up our gut health. That is, like, so big because I think we can't really we may not be able to get to where we need to with meditation, just clarity of thought, brain fog, to even think, I can get past this, I can do this, to even get there, we have to clean up our palate, our base, our gut health. So so much of that. And then
Look, we're breathing toxic air. We're living with toxic news on TV. We're in relationships that we feel we failed, or we feel
mhm,
abandoned.
mhm,
There's
right,
enormous trauma. The question
right,
is, you know, your body said enough. And I
right,
know
that's the
at
other
this
word.
point, I know on the other end, we look back and we're like, well, I'm grateful for that wake up call.
Mhm.
But
That's how I
here,
look at it now. Mhm. Yeah, I look at, like, I'm actually grateful for MS because I'm 41 and I am the healthiest I've ever been. I don't have any pain. My vision is beyond per like, fantastic. I mean, I still wear glasses occasionally. I still wear them for driving if I'm reading something up close, things like that. But that optic neuritis too, I'll make a quick point. I didn't know. I thought that, so it was always a little bit dimmer in that eye. If I were to go like that, it's a little bit just, it's not as bright in my right eye. It wasn't. And now it is. And I didn't know that that optic nerve could be healed to that point where I would have my vision completely back. I didn't know that they don't tell you that. I did not know that was a possibility. Um, and through nutrition and meditation practices, it absolutely is. I do believe that with the right environment, our bodies are able to regenerate and heal themselves, given the right environment and ingredients.
I think that's on with any symptom. I believe
Mhm.
really. I mean, look, everyone that I've met, on all my broadcasts over the last 8 years, and my own mom, she ate macrobiotic for a few months, and she had the biggest remission of her disease, and
Wow.
she just couldn't maintain it. She was just in that generation
Yeah.
that she just didn't understand the root cause, and
Yeah.
and her remission didn't, like, wake up, it's something about food. And so that's just with my own mom, but with people on the broadcast, and the people that had these very severe, not severe, but these big label, these neurological, you know conditions, as opposed to autoimmune, though I happen to think MS is autoimmune and cancer is autoimmune. That's my personal opinion. The body is
Mhm.
attacking itself. The body's, the brain is completely, the immune system and brain are, fighting, and inflammation is the basis. Inflammation is the basis of all disease. Dr. Hanscom says that, and other medical doctors. So if
Mhm.
inflammation
Right.
is the basis of all disease, and we have healthy inflammation, we have unhealthy, we have to, if it's the,
Mhm.
then we have to look at foods that create it. We have to look at the acid, the alkaline. And I find it
Yes.
fascinating. And if I could go back to school, I would learn nutrition and I would help people. But I meet people like you who can come on and talk about how important it is for any pain, any disease, for how
Mhm.
we think, for how we secrete endorphins, for our hormones as women, our menstruation,
Yeah.
aging. I mean, the nutrition has to be a key. And even Dr. Schubiner will say, yeah, I had 3 hours of nutrition in medical school. And I'm like, and he was even embarrassed. Like, it's embarrassing and it's sad that the world is on a different, the perception and reality of how we deal with food is like, it's just one more thing. It's totally not one more thing. I think that, look, I think the thoughts trump everything, because it's about the relationship with your food, which I want to talk about, in a minute, like how you related to your food, not just the food.
Mhm.
And I'm not against somebody who wants to smoke a cigarette or smoke a joint. It's about the relationship with what you're doing,
Right.
and the balance, and the, extreme. So, but tell us. So you're saying without the food thing, you don't think this would have worked? Like, your thoughts, your meditation, the food for you was the way out.
Yeah, the detoxing,
The
really.
detoxing.
The
What is a
detox.
detox? It's detoxing. Like, you don't eat or you fast. What's a detox?
Oh, well, definitely I ate. So, the protocol that I found, um, it's 5 products, and it's, all of your greens, and then it's protein, and the really 2 of the really important products are the gut health. It's a probiotic and prebiotic, and it's, one of the only, actually, I think it's the only, it is the only, product on the market that removes glyphosate out of the body, which is a dangerous herbicide and pesticide that's being sprayed rampantly. It's in our rainwater, it's everywhere. And glyphosate breaks down the gut lining. So that's just one thing. That's just like one
It's a
herbicide that we know
supplement you
about.
took. You supplement you took, or you ate
Yeah.
food with glyphosate
It's
in it.
it's a supplement. It's humic and fulvic acid. It's a proprietary blend of that. And that removes, there's a study, a 6-week study, that it removes 75% of glyphosate in a 6-week study. And to my knowledge, that's the only product I've been able to find on the market. I'm happy to share it. And so that's just one thing we know about glyphosate. That's just one herbicide. There's tons of toxins out there and tons of things. So certain binders, humic and fulvic acid, carry out these herbicides and pesticides out of the gut. And it also carries out heavy metals, which is not based on a study, but I do know that about those humic and fulvic acid, that they remove heavy metals and things. So doing that regularly on a regular basis. And then the parasite cleansing. It's just herbs. So I found a gentle protocol that has herbs and really deep cellular nutrition. So I started just flooding my body with really good nutrition, organic nutrition, really like as good as I could get. Um, without worrying about soil health, because I know where this food is grown, I know how the crops are rotated, I know how everything is tested for toxins and things like that. So I found this food, and then the parasite cleansing every 3 months. That was enormous. Parasite cleansing. So here I knew how to be healthy. I knew how to eat. I knew all this nutritional stuff, but the detoxing of the parasites was enormous. By the third, I detox every 3 months with parasites, and by the third one, so this was like late 2021, or sorry, this was like late 2022. I felt a like something left my body. It was unbelievable. I don't even know how to put it into words, but something just lifted. And that's the pain was gone. I didn't even know how much pain I was in until I didn't have it anymore. I was in pain every single day. Just, it would take me back. Like, I'm working, right? You're trying to like pick up the phone and talk to people. And then all of a sudden I just get hit with a wave of pain. And it's like, I can't do anything except sit here and just breathe, you know? So, the parasite cleansing was just enormous. It really, so that I feel like the root cause, getting back to the root cause, it's an overload of pathogens. Pathogens are parasites, bacteria, viruses, um, neurotoxins, which are the pathogen poop, basically giving that off, and that's what's attacking our myelin sheath. That's what's attacking our bodies in so many ways and causing inflammation. Pathogens feed off of an acidic body. So when we bring our bodies from more acidic to more alkaline, cancer, disease, disease cannot live in an alkaline environment.
This is
So,
so important. This is so important. And cancer loves sugar. I mean, like it's,
yes.
so, and I don't think we have to be extreme, black or white. But in the beginning, as you're healing, you need to be extreme, like no sugar. And,
Right. In the
you know,
beginning, yes.
because everything is sugar. Everything we eat, every vegetable is fruit sugar, milk sugar,
Sure. Yeah, it's
healthy
really the
grain sugar.
processed. Yeah, it's really the processed sugar that is so detrimental. Fruit sugars and vegetable sugars and carbs and things like that turn into sugars. Those are natural sugars. The molecule actually spins a different direction than a processed sugar. It's completely a whole different thing. And our bodies process it differently. So our brain needs sugar, it needs natural fruit sugars. It
Of
needs that.
course.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. So listen, this so much information here, and it's not a topic that I usually talk about, but I'm so fascinated because we're human beings and we eat food and we assimilate and we digest and we bring it in and we put it out. We bring it in, we put it out, and
That's right.
you
It's like
know,
fuel.
um,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's medicine. I think what you're
That's right.
saying, and I think this broadcast could be food is our medicine, and
Yes.
you are the pilot, you are the chef, you're the one who puts it in, the one, and you're saying it's doesn't have to be so expensive, doesn't have to be like we don't need a special cook, we have to be educated and we have to be committed. And if people are not seeing results, I mean, look, you along the journey, Kristen, you saw things change and you were inspired, and there are people who are not seeing changes and lose it. And I'm like, this does not mean you're not getting better. The symptoms are not the only thing. So there was other successes, that happened for you as well. And you were very patient. You were very patient, with this journey. And so Did you go back and get a CAT scan to check the myelin sheath?
It's been a few years since I've had another, MRI. I'm a little stubborn now. Even the dye that they make you to I don't even want that because that's heavy metals, and I have worked so hard to get heavy metals out of my body. Um, I should at some point, I'll just do a really good detox lemon water cleanse, with that, because it is good to have, you just to kind of know, but also I feel incredible.
Yeah,
I feel
the myelin
incredible.
sheath can have plaques on it without you having
Mhm.
symptoms. And again,
Yeah.
the symptoms are important because they are a message, and we have to understand our relationship with the symptoms. So this is an interesting question, and I think some of my particular community might want to know the answer to this. I mean, and anyone who knows Louise Hay would ask, what were your symptoms saying? What was the message? What was the big
Mm,
wake up call? Because you can't tell me you were like eating the most unhealthy in the world. I mean, like we all go down that road. Like, what was else going on? Would you say
mhm,
that like, I don't need to get into the traumas of your life. It's not important, but I think we want to understand that you had enormous fear. You said you were terrified. But
mhm,
again, how you sat with that fear, you took it to the gym with you took it to yoga with you took it with your meditation, like you understood the fear.
mhm,
And because that can take people so off their journey that they can't get back on.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
so talk more about maybe your emotional journey. And did you journal? Did you see a therapist? Did you do some kind of sweat lodge? Did you bang pillows? Did you travel the world to find yourself? Like, what else happened?
Well, I think it was really yoga. It was really meditation and yoga that helped on that front. There was therapy, um, s and recognizing that, that connection between the pain and then immediately how I felt. Immediately. I picked up on that right away, like, I'm like, "Oh, this is" like, and it's different than just stubbing your toe and having pain or having joint pain, or it's not the same. It's not the same. We can have joint pain, my knees hurt sometimes, things like that. It's not the same. This nerve pain that I'm talking about is like it's an immediate right to the brain, right you immediately feel dread. And I was kind of amazed by that. I was like, "Wow, that pain just created that fearful thought, that dreadful feeling. Whoa." And I was able to kind of unravel that a little bit because I noticed it so profoundly. Um,
Some of the research is talking about that first the dreadful feeling came and then the pain. So, what was going on in your unconscious mind, or what was happening unconsciously? And that might have been the fear and the dread and because,
maybe. Yeah.
so it might have been that was just a level of fear that was living with
Mhm.
you, that you just like let's go do a down dog together. Fear, you're
Yeah.
there, you're going to be there.
Yes. Yes. That's huge. When I did feel pain in my leg, I've learned to stretch with it, move with it. Don't just be that then that's another thing. If I don't keep my asana practice, my yoga practice, I become so stiff like a tin man. And that's so important to stay moving, stay in fluidity, and learning to move through that pain, moving with it, not constricting it and being like, tightening up against it, but kind of moving in with it. And it's really a tough thing, not an easy thing to do when you're feeling pain,
No,
especially if it's
yeah.
making you feel,
No,
yeah.
exactly. Look, you had a great mindset. You had a great mindset and an attitude, and like you said, you didn't own this diagnosis, and you didn't give the power to the doctor who said you need to take medication, you need to who we call it fear mongering. He did his job, but he put you into a state of fear, and you were like, okay, there's my fear. So I, in closing, in the next few minutes, first of all, if anyone in the listening, anyone in the feedback of the Facebook page wants to ask Kristen any questions, we're here. We'll also be uploading this YouTube this broadcast to my YouTube channel, TMS Roundtable, and you can talk to Kristen there. We'll put up her Facebook page. You can ask us both any questions at any point. It's up there. I'm so thrilled to be sharing this, and now it's live, but it'll be available. But in the closing moments, I want to help inspire people. I mean, I'm a little bit flipped out about how many MS pages are on Facebook and how many thousands of people have joined. And we're just talking about one label. And we are now seeing, the majority of people are in the medical model with medically unexplained symptoms, with conditions that could get better, just like what you're saying. And they're not interested. It's not their fault. They're not educated. So if we can open up a mind, if we can drop, some pixie dust into the world right now and let people know that it is so possible and probable to heal. And even people I mean, people who have plaquing, who have pain, and still living a quality life with MS.
Yes.
This does not mean a wheelchair.
That's right.
So
That's right.
give us more of this incredible knowledge and your inspiration.
I've helped others as well. I have a one friend of mine who, with the nutritional protocol part of it, was able to get off 17 medications, a lot of medications, and she was able to walk. She was in a wheelchair, in a motorized wheelchair, but she was able to walk to her mailbox. And I mean, she's had incredible results. And I've seen this every day. I have a new follower in my group, actually. I don't know if you've seen him, but he should be next on your list to talk to, because he is so inspirational, and he's a yogi in India, and who got diagnosed with MS, and he's climbing mountains from a wheelchair to climbing mountains, and he's done it. I believe, I don't want to speak for him, but with yoga and meditation, and of course nutrition as well. You that is the that's the combo, really the trifecta.
Kristen, why isn't everybody doing yoga and meditation? It's not a big deal. It's like yoga and meditation. And I would like to just give you my answer, and I'd like to hear your answer. Or here's the question. Are we curious? Are we curious why it's so hard to go deep? Are we curious to look at ourselves in the mirror? Are we curious to look at ourselves kind of naked with our clothes on? Are we curious why that's hard? And if it's hard, does it mean we shouldn't do it?
I think that's a great point. We're not curious enough, I don't think. We're comfortable, we're complacent. We have all the comforts in the world at our fingertips. All the comforts. Food, whatever we want to eat. We live in a society now, we just have whatever we want, whatever comforts we want, and I think we've gotten really comfortable, and we're not seeking outside of ourselves, what is beyond us. Um, we're not going in. We're not going in. We don't need to go out. We need to go
Why is it
in.
scary to go in? Why is
Yeah,
it so uncomfortable
yeah.
to go in? Why?
Because
Why? Why?
there's demons there that we have to face. And there's uncomfortable feelings and traumas from our past, from our childhood, that we have to face, and worthiness, right? Not feeling worthy enough. That's a big one.
Go there. What's gonna I think it's the unknown, and this we talk about being okay with uncertainty. Uncertainty is a powerful, powerful place. So
Right.
I'd love you to answer Brian's question.
I don't see it, so you'll have
Okay.
to.
Okay. Look to the right, but what resources or books do you recommend for people who want to start this?
Oh, oh, great. Okay. I would say The Medical Medium.
Wow. I've heard about that book. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So his name is Anthony William. He might be a little controversial for some people because he believes his all of his information has come from source, from spirit. He's not a doctor. He's not like a
A channeler,
nutritionist.
a channeler.
Right. So that
No,
might be a little
yeah.
not
This is
comfortable for
just
people.
God. This is just God talking. This is
Exactly.
just it's. I mean, think about channeling. And I've met Lee Carroll, and I've met some amazing people, and they're just open and receptive to a message,
Mhm.
and they're giving the name that God. I mean, this is just. But anyway, so the message of the medical medium. That's where I heard it. The medical medium. So what
Yeah.
does he say?
He gets into liver cleansing and the acidity. I've learned so much from him. Keeping the body in alkalinity, um, and what's going on with the body with the pathogens. He really breaks it down to
Wow.
anything, whatever you got, whatever you got. You stub your toe, he'll no, but like fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, MS, lupus, Lyme, like everything. He's really he really showed, and he has recipes. He shows you how to make food. He just has a lot of information. He is really
What's
good
his
friends.
name? Anthony.
Anthony William. And he's the medical medium. He has lots of books.
What other books did you read that helped you?
Let's see. As far as nutritional, the first person I found was Dr. Walls,
Yes,
W.A.
Terry Walls.
Terry Walls. Yeah, she was really. Oh, I'm so thankful that I found her in the
Yeah,
beginning.
she helped
Um,
another.
many
That just
book.
for I'm going to write this down because
Mhm.
in the very beginning of my career, online 7 years ago, I interviewed a number of times um, Matthew. Um, I'm blanking on his last name. Matt Embry, and he started this
Okay.
MS Hope,
Oh
and
yeah.
he has a movie called Living Proof, and he's talking to Terry Walls. I'm pretty sure she was the one he went to talk to, and then he developed a nutritional like a cookbook, which is okay. This is nothing new under the sun. This information we're not getting. Food is food, but
Mhm.
and she did heal herself from MS.
Yeah.
So Terry Walls,
Incredible. Hmm.
Terry Walls, Dr. Terry Walls,
Hmm.
Terry, I think Wahls.
Yes, the Walls Protocol.
And
Yep.
anything else?
Let's see. Spiritually, I started out meditating 15 minutes a day. Everyone says, I don't have time to meditate. You got 15 minutes? We all have 15 minutes. We can get up 15 minutes earlier. Just sit up in bed 15 minutes earlier. And I did this Kriya called Isha Kriya. You can find it on YouTube. You can just Google it, YouTube it. Isha Kriya.
I
Kriya.
S H ISHA
Mhm.
K. 2 words.
Yes. Mhm.
K.
Riya. And just it's a breathing, it's a breath work, and it just takes you through this I am not the body, I am not the mind for 15 minutes. And that is profound. That will change your wiring, your hardwiring, and just separates you just a little bit. So and being more the observer, observing the pain. You're not the pain. Don't be in the pain. Just observe it. And when you observe it and you breathe through it, it will pass. I mean, it's not easy.
Well,
None of
how do
this
you
is
feel
easy, but
about? I
it's
talk all the time about it, and this is science that if we're focusing on our breath or nature or the bird song or our heartbeat, we're not feeling the pain.
right,
Yeah.
right. Physical or mental, really, anything.
So
Yeah.
it's partly, and who's in charge of focus? You. You
Hmm.
decide.
That's right.
decide
Right.
what to
You
focus
can
on.
right, you can choose your thoughts. You watch them come. Do I like that thought? Do I not? Watch it go. So, simple things like this, just simple meditations. It doesn't mean that you're not whatever your observation is of God and whatever your beliefs are, that's fantastic. But learning to quiet the mind and watch your thoughts and choose your thoughts and choose happier thoughts and choose to feel better and yes.
So everything you've just said is so inspiring. And imagine any last message would just be more incredible.
I'm happy to share, yeah, anything, the protocol that I found. The company is called Purium, and just the way that they grow their food and everything is really in line with my values and the earth and food is medicine. The quality of food we eat equals the quality of life we live. That's something that I live by. Um, and I am not the body. I am not even the mind. Is so powerful and will reframe your thinking just with everything in life in general. And if you're suffering now, you're not here to suffer. You're here to thrive. And the time to thrive is now, and it is completely within your ability to thrive and feel your best.
This conversation was exactly what I had hoped. It was every breath and every beautiful wrinkle, beautiful in your face, your gorgeous face and your beautiful eyes, and everything was just. I just learned so much, and I'm so excited to bring this to the community and to have our communities join. I can advertise your community. With mine, it's more chronic pain and autoimmune, but you're specific about what you're doing. It's very specific. Not everybody goes the nutrition route. Not everybody's interested in yoga. And I said,
Right.
just walk around the dining room table, do a little qigong. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Just fearless movement. So no one has to do exactly what you do, but there is universal laws of how you related to your fear, how you related to your doctor. I mean, you don't just, I'm not getting any anger from you. I mean, a lot of people, there's a medical trauma, the doc, you're like, okay,
Mm,
doc, I don't get that it was a medical trauma. I'm getting that you really stayed calm with yourself um, and we can all learn this. You have an angry little girl in there. We're not, Mother Teresa, but we can learn and we can build a new pathway and we can change. And like what you said, we can affect our neurology, we can affect neurons, we can affect our cells.
yes. We can talk to ourselves. The way we talk to ourself, our inner dialogue, we're talking to ourselves. Like we're telling them, this is how I want to be. Yeah, it's just incredible.
Just
Our,
back to
our,
like we're back to the experiment of talking to the water, talking to the plants. For like, no, I mean, but this is just a relationship.
and then it
And
becomes memory when you do
yeah,
those
yeah.
things and then it's muscle memory and the body remembers. I just heard a guru talking about this. The body remembers. So when you talk to yourself differently and think different thoughts, your body remembers that and things will change.
So I am happy to be part of your healing journey and to have this hour with you. And you have blessed my studio with your
Thank you so
beauty and your
much.
strength and your ability to speak about the details. And you've went ahead and you said, I'm going to open up a Facebook page and I'm going to help people. And so this is another key. And not everybody's ready, but when we want help, we need to help others. And the Dalai Lama says, if you want to be happy, make someone else happy. I mean, it's an
Yes.
interesting way. And Dr. Sarno will talk about like help someone else when you're feeling, down. And that's chemical.
Yeah.
And Joe
That's
Dispenza talks about great gratitude.
yep.
This is chemical. So you have just dropped all that pixie dust into this last hour of our conversation. And I am just one blessed human being. So I'm very, very grateful to meet you. I think we'll meet again. I love talking about the nutrition. It's very important for people to stop and look at what they're putting inside their body, aside from the thoughts that they're thinking, aside from this. So this is very important. So we'll meet again for sure. And I'm grateful for this hour. And listen, this will be up on the YouTube. Wait a few hours because we'll make a special thumbnail. We'll put it up and we'll put a description. We'll put your Facebook page. People can find you on Transform Autoimmune Naturally.
Yes, Transforming Autoimmune Naturally. Yep.
And okay, if I can ever help you or anyone, we're always here. I have an assistant, and we're always here to help. So here we are, opening up the world to more healing and more self-healing, because it sounds like you did amazing work on your own, and you really developed a strong relationship with your body, your mind, your soul. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Tovah. This is an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless.
God bless. Thank you.
It's going to go off.